Review Season 5 Episode 2. Child, they stay trying to get rid of my bishop, okay? Like it's like it's like he's like a second granddad, like oh my gosh. But so yeah, here we are for the second episode. It was pretty good. It was a little slow at first, but it wasn't towards the end where I was like, big. So anyway, um, so we're not gonna go like as usual. We're not gonna do play by play. We're just gonna do from least to greatest. Basically, that we want to talk about is Sophia. Child, last week, I was like, she, handled herself as far as old dude. I don't even remember his name. That's how much we don't care anymore. Um, she can handle herself, but this episode, I'm like, what? She did a whole 180. Like, I get it. She's young, okay? Um, she's learning. This is probably her first real relationship or somewhat of a relationship where she actually was interested in a guy, were emotionally and physically interested in a guy. And it's like, I get when you give somebody, I don't know if it was like an ultimatum or whatever, but when you give somebody, let them know that, hey, look, you need to make a decision. Either it's me or her, basically. Um, I feel like if they not called you back or whatever, or not even made an attempt to even let you know, girl, it's time to move on. But Sophia can't seem to do that because all she's done is call dude that she's trying to be with. She's called him and called him. He doesn't answer the phone. She's leaving voicemails. At one point in the episode, she called the girl that he's with now. Was like, he's not here, basically putting it in her face and being petty, right? And then after that, um, Sophia and Zora, they're talking now, and basically they all because Sophia reveals that she lost her virginity, and Zora, that's all she needed to hear was like, oh, well then let's talk. And I'm like, girl, I feel like at some point, like Zora is that character where if I were Sophia, like at some point she gonna get real tired of that. Like you can't, either you gonna be cool with me or not. Simple as that. Like you can't. Yeah, we're gonna have our disagreements, but the way Zora goes about it, it's like, girl, like I can't be forming to you all the time. And I feel like at some point Sophia's gonna get real tired of that, and she's like, let's just love each other from afar. So, with all that being said, Sophia makes the dumbest decision, and I don't know if she did this before. I feel like I have a strong feeling she did this like just an attempt to get back with this guy, but she sent a titty pic. I'm like, oh my god. And I'm assuming, oh girl, this with, she probably saw that and posted it all over social media. That is ooh. That is ooh. So, I'm interested to see how the family is gonna react to that, but like, girl, you don't lose yourself over no man. Like, this is what it's about to be. Like, you don't lose yourself over that. Like, come on now. So yeah, I'm very interested to see what's gonna happen with Sophie, and that's pretty much it with her. Oh, and apparently next episode, um, she's gonna go see AJ in the hospital and give him a playlist, or I think give him a playlist or whatnot. So that's basically it on Sophia. They go to this spot, um, and clearly this used to be Mavis, which I'm like, are we gonna see? Since this is the last season, do we get to see Mavis? Because when I tell y'all, Mavis came and she went. Like, I believe I said it last review that maybe Oprah went on the show because it was on the first season, because she was heavy on the first season. Maybe she was on there because, there's some people on there. You got Lynn Whitfield and Keith David. Like, those are your heavy hitters. But because there's so many actors and actresses on the show that we may not have heard of, maybe Oprah went on there to give the show a bit of a boost, get people to watch, because she was literally on there for the first season, a little bit on the second season. I don't know if she was there for the third season, but after that, we didn't hear from her. Like, she came and she basically was like, I did what I was supposed to do, and now she's just executive producer. So now it's just like, we don't see her, which is cool because, Mavis was there to start shit. Like, it was her and Grace, both of them. And I feel like, Mavis was literally like the only one that was really in Grace's corner. You could say, oh, well, Bishop kind of was, but, it was more so Mavis than anything. Um, so they're in Mavis Club, or Old Club, and they're talking about turning it into a church. And I could see it, because, one, Lady May and Mavis, y'all know they don't have the best relationship. And then Lady May is like, no, we need to tear everything up. We don't need to leave it like this. And Bishop's like, there's so much history in this club anyway. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you have all these old jazz posters and everything, and why not? But they're like, no, she want to turn it all the way out. And I'm like, I hope it's not about to be, because it would be different to have, if they would have just fix things up a little bit, and, left things the way they were. Of course, get rid of the bar. Get rid of the bar. You don't think you need a bar in a church unless that's where you're going to keep all the communion and stuff. Have a bottle of wine over there, pour it. Okay, everybody, we about to have communion, So, unless, but other than that, they need to get rid of the bar and stuff. But to just completely tear it up. But not Mavis, child, Lady May would kill me if I called her Mavis, Jesus. But, Lady May is like, yeah, this is all about my sister. I don't like her. Anything that reminds me of her, I want it gone. So there's that on that. Then we get a scene where at one point Bishop was going to be like, well, maybe I should just call Mavis and, ask for her permission. Because we know Lady May is not going to do it. And Bishop was like, no, let's just go ahead and do it. Forget about it. And then at one point, he sits down with Lady May. He's talking about how, let's go ahead and set a wedding date. And she's like, we already talked about this. And he's like, what do you mean? Yeah, we said it on Flag Day, which is like June 14th. And he was like, oh yeah, we did talk about it. She's like, don't you remember that? He's like, yeah, it just slipped my. I was like, no. No, not my Bishop, man. Not my Bishop. Oh my God, I swear, they just got that one character that don't do nothing to nobody. He may have done his little mess, but he don't do nothing to nobody. He just be minding his business, leading us to Jesus. And just a wholesome person and be the one about to die. I can't. Like, y'all remember, what's it, last season? Or the season before, when Bishop passed out because Basie Skanks was, really getting down, and I guess he had a heart attack, and they had that whole scene to make it seem like Bishop was dead, and he just came around the corner. I said, y'all on some bullshit with that, like, really? So yeah, child, Bishop got Parkinson's, which is a form of Alzheimer's. I'm like, no. No, this man ain't got Alzheimer's. Oh my God, no. Child, not my Bishop. Not my Bishop. So that's really it on Bishop and Lady May. So, excuse me, the next people, we're going to talk about Charity. Child, oh, Charity. So, Charity has been on this whole front, because of course she still has to work with Phil and all this other stuff. But, she's just making known she ain't with it. And that's fine and all. But it's like, girl, I get it. It's one thing if you ain't sold your family for a hat in a parking spot. That's one thing. But the fact that you did what you did to get what you got, why are you mad? Like, Why are you pissed off over some shit you did? You did this. Like, you can't be mad over some stuff you did. So she, like I said, just letting it be known that she ain't got it fulfilled. At one point, Judy, she walking all white girl, she walks in, and then Charity really thought she was just doing something by letting her know your dad is making him marry you, and he's still in love with me. Girlfriend don't care. She don't give a shit. Like, she really does not give a shit at all. And it's like, what did you think? It's like Charity has that middle child syndrome where she feels like, you know, daddy gave too much attention to Grace, mommy gave too much attention to Jacob, Faith had her attention, and then what did I get? And it's like, girl, you. There was a part where Charity shows up. Grace and Lady Mae were talking, and Charity shows up, and she's like, "Oh, so is this how it's gonna be?" And I'm like, "You did what you did. Like, the fact that you hated your sister that much that you did this, and then you're mad because nobody has it for you. Not even. I even think that because usually Grace, she's the one that's like, you know, the I would say the voice of reason. Like, she's the one to fuck shit up, but she's also that one where it's like, okay, let's not be like this. But even she was like, girl, I ain't got it, and went back in the house. And it's like, Charity, you can't. Like, I don't know what you're expecting from everybody. Like, you got, like, you did this. So I don't understand why you're being all. And then she was like trying to, cause she likes to play victim. She's like, okay, so I'm just gonna pack my stuff and I'm gonna take my son and we're gonna leave. And it's like, okay, like, okay. And what's the name? When Grace left, cause late, like I said, they were talking, and she was literally sitting there doing all this, and then Lady Mae was like, you don't understand real problems. And I do feel like I do feel like I understand what Charity is going through as far as wanting to have some sort of love and recognition, but the way she went about it is like, that's not what you do here. That's not what you do. You don't get rid of your family and spy on the family and do all of this because you're mad, and then when you get cracked, your face gets cracked again, then you want to be all, oh, so this is how it's gonna be. Yes. especially when it just happened. Like, it's not like this happened 2 years ago. No, this just happened, and then you're expecting everybody to be okay. No, but I think Charity has gone through a lot, but it's like, girl, you can't sit here and act like this is okay and it's not. Like, oh, your mom is just being difficult. And we all know Lady Mae and her one-liners. She called her Judas. She called her fucking Judas. I said, you, Lady Mae can't do no wrong. She can do wrong, but when it comes to these one-liners, she can't do no wrong. But, child, it's like, Charity, girl, you gotta. And then at one point, she goes, she goes upstairs, and Grace was talking to, I'm gonna say Elijah, Jesus. Grace was talking to Sophia, and she was like, Charity was like, okay, I just want to talk to you. So she gives this letter, this poem to Grace in hopes to, guess, have some sort of connection or have some sort of, I don't know what she was trying to do, but basically, Grace read this poem that Charity wrote for her son. Because, remember she was pregnant with twins and she lost one of them. So she was like, I just understand, basically saying, I understand what it feels like to lose a child. And Grace was like, but my child is not dead. He just don't want to see me. And she was like, how dare you use that as a way to make it about yourself? And it's like, in a way, yeah, she did. But at the same time, it's like I get what she was trying to do here. But it's like, girl, no, this this ain't time. That wasn't the time. I'm like, Charity, like I just felt it, like, because first of all, she came in there and Grace was like, if you came here to apologize, I ain't trying to hear it. And Charity was like, I ain't here to apologize. So then why are you here? Get out. Like, I just knew it was going to be some shit. And it's like every time Charity walked in, it's always some shit. And I'm like, I just, it's like, I don't know what else to do with her. And it's so sad to say, because I'm pretty sure that's how she feels. Like, no one knows what to do with me. But it's like, I don't know how else she could go about things. It's just, this ain't it. Like, she is just a whiny baby. And it's like, girl, whatever. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what else to do with her. But it's like, you did this. You gotta eat it. Like, you did this. You wanted to get at your family, and you got at them, and you still trying to, oh, woe is me. Hell no. So, I was going to leave Grace for last, but I want to go ahead and talk about her. So basically, we find out that AJ is alive, that he survived it. Um, she's at the hospital, and basically they're like, they don't, that AJ didn't want to see her. And then she came back the next day, and what's his name was there? Noah, which I completely forgot about him. Noah was there, trying to be in support as much as possible, because that's his son too. And at one point, they were going to go and talk to the doctor. Came out, which the doctor, did y'all see her? Her eyes were huge. I was like she would, like, my eyes are big, but hers were huge. They were like that. I was like, sheesh. I mean, they were pretty, but damn. Like, she would blink and it would just go. But yeah, so she basically the doctor was like, AJ didn't want to see, the dad. He was like, okay, that's fine. And then the doctor was like, well, he don't want to see Grace either, because he's feeling a little ashamed right now. And it's like, I get it. He did what he did and survived. Okay, so it's just like, I know Grace wants to go be with him, but it's like, he's, and like the doctor said, he's an adult. Okay, it's not like he's 12. No, he's an adult. Give him some time. Okay, and I know it's hard, but give him some time. At one point, Grace and Noah got a little spat because, Noah's just trying to be there. He's just trying to be there, because it's not um, like, it's like the way Grace is treating him, like he's this. She's like, because I've been there, and it's like, well, let him be there too. Okay, it's not like Noah is some deadbeat dad, because he really isn't. He didn't know about. You knew about it. You knew you had a kid somewhere. He didn't know about it. You didn't give him that option of. Because I feel like, if, I don't know. Y'all let me know. Maybe Noah would have been the type of guy like, well, if you don't want the baby, let me have him, or something like that. But you didn't tell him about this. So I just think when Grace gave him the third degree, I'm like, that's really unnecessary, to be honest. Like, and then I think because Noah is just trying to keep the peace, he was just like, okay, fine, because he said something to her, and she was like, take it back, and he was like, okay, I'll take it back, and I'm like, girl, Grace, I love you, but you gotta get out, sit down, okay, shut up. But what else? Oh yeah, Grace and Jesus, Darius, okay, they go meet one of the pastors of Hope and Harmony, and um, old dude was like, leave me alone, I ain't trying to hear about it, because basically he revealed that all the pastors are on board, for this whole fusion thing. But he's being quiet, obviously something else is going on, and, they're under confidentiality, I'm sure. Confidentiality, you know. And, what's her name? Dude, white guy. See, I don't forgot his name again. Um, Obviously, he has something over them. Obviously, he got them by the balls, and he's just like, look, I ain't got to say, but what I will do, because later on, the dude called Grace up and was like, I'll give you a name, and I forgot what the name was, but he gave a name, he said, look into it, don't call me no more, basically. So, yeah, that's all that. Oh, yeah, and then the conversation that Grace and Lady May had on the steps, because Lady May had just came back from Faith's grave. And she was like, I know she's not there, but the thought of her being there, the thought of her being there. And she said, sometimes I think about, when we meet again in heaven. And then she was like, well, I don't think she would be there because she's just gone. And, I feel like we all have those thoughts, those who've passed on, like when we meet them again and how we'd be happy to see them. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, what if they're not the same and all the other stuff? And they're just a completely different people. Who knows? Like, who knows how that concept of heaven and all of that even works? Who knows? Um, Only way we know is when we die. Because one thing, when it comes to like grave sites and everything, like people go there because they know that their loved one is buried there, like their body is there, but they are not there. The soul is not there anymore. But sometimes people go there as like comfort. Like my grandparents, my mom's parents, one is buried. My grandmother's buried in Kentucky, and my grandfather's buried in Wisconsin, Milwaukee. And my mom has not been back at all. And she said, because they're not there. So what's the point of me being there? And it's like, I get it, I get it. But, and it's not, oh, that's disheartening. It really isn't. Because I feel like everybody has their own views of death and, burial and all the other stuff. But I just think, just respect people's views and stuff. Like, don't look too much into it. It's nothing like, oh, that's terrible. No, it's not. It's either you go there or you don't. That's it. It's not like, you know, people who died are just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. You ain't come see me in 15 years. So, yeah, but, what else? But yeah, that's really it that happened with Grace. So the last person, I want to talk about, we have to talk about Jacob and Carissa. So Carissa, she's still on her, um, first of all, the fact that she's doing all this, and she's still taking medicine for her problem. I'm like, but it's like, you made a mistake. Okay. Yeah, Jacob is weird. You made your mistake. Okay. Jacob has made many. But I think the problem with your mistake is you brought another mistake. Itching, burning, and itching and burning mistake. Okay. You brought that. And it's like, that's nasty. Okay. That is nasty. I don't know if you can even get rid of it because she got chlamydia. So I don't know if you can get rid of chlamydia. And then you went and you gave it to Jacob. So now he has it. And you talking about I made one mistake? Girl, that one mistake turns into a million mistakes. Like, that's nasty. Like, you went and you did it raw. You did it raw with this man. I don't know. I would rather you get pregnant than, you know, a disease. Like, can you even get rid of that? I don't think you can. I think it's herpes is one that you can't get rid of. I don't know. One of them. But it's like, you had sex with a man raw, okay? He gave you something. You turn around when had sex with your husband raw, and you gave it to him. That is that is filthy. And you want, see, that's another, like, you can't, it's one thing if you messed around, and I feel like the way Jacob was, of course now he's pissed, like, obviously, but the way he was then, he would have, I feel like he would have been mature enough, he would have been upset, but I feel like he would have been mature enough to be like, okay, we both made mistakes, let's just move forward. I feel like, because he's done his dirt, we know that. And then, of course, you did your thing, and it's like, all right, we done had our fun. Let's focus on each other. Let's focus on being good parents to our kids, and let's just move forward. But you went and got chlamydia. That's nasty. Like, that is, oh my gosh. And you gave it to him, and you think he's supposed to be okay. Like, so now I got a disease because you want to mess up. So, of course, child, I almost called her chlamydia. Carissa, she, is waving this whole deed and stuff around, and they're being cold to each other, obviously in front of the kids. Zora, which I said last week, I said they need to go ahead and say something to her because she's living by herself. First of all, second of all, it's like she's older, she understands more. She's not like the little boy's age where he may not understand, but she's at an age where she understands what's going on because at one point, she was like, y'all over here being secretive, y'all being cold to each other. Just tell me, y'all getting divorced? Okay. And yeah, obviously it's a divorce. You don't want your parents to divorce, so obviously she got upset. But I think she was more upset with the fact that they're being secretive about it. It's like, just be honest. Yeah, I'm upset my parents are divorcing, but the fact that y'all being secretive and treat me like, oh, I just don't know what's going on. Come on now. Come on now. So, um, what's his name had a tackle box. Jacob had a tackle box. He was gonna take his little boy out fishing. Out, no lie, that scene when that little boy was standing over there by that pond, and even though Jacob was there, I was just like, I don't know why I felt like that little boy was gonna fall in that water. I was like, bro, like that little boy was sitting there. I'm like, please don't let this child fall in. But thank goodness he didn't. But this whole will stuff situation, like, I can't wait for it to unfold because I'm a little confused, a little bit. I don't want to say confused, but just interested to see like what happened because Jacob finds this little letter or deed where apparently it ties into Basic Skank's dad. Y'all remember that whole situation? So, what's the name? Jacob goes to Tasha T.I. Skanks, goes over to her place, and Jacob was like, I need to speak to Basie. And she's like, Basie dead. I said, but I mean, with the people he was hanging around, I felt like it was coming, but damn. It killed him off. So, yeah, so next week's episode, we see what's the name? Because so far Jacob has kept this a hush a little bit because one, he's trying to make sure that this whole document is legit, and then of course he's trying to do whatever Chris is asking. I'm like, I see Chris ain't tell the lawyer that she done went and cheated and got chlamydia and taking medicine for it. Like, I see she ain't saying nothing about that. But but yeah. And then they talking about Carissa getting full custody. I'm like, oh my god, this is bad. This is real bad. Like why don't they just get joint custody? Like, come on, it's not like Jacob is a bad parent. Like, he really isn't, and Carissa knows that. Like I said, Jacob has done his dirt. He has, but Carissa, you done your dirt too. Like, both of y'all done your dirt. You just brought more dirt. That dirt was on fire. Anyway, so that was really it. Like I said, not much happened. Usually with the first episode of a new season, they start off with the bang, and then by the second episode, it kind of, somewhat of a filler, but it wasn't towards the end of the episode where things kind of picked up a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna need them to leave my bishop alone. He ain't done nothing to nobody. Sometimes I feel like they treat Bishop like he's stupid as hell, and he's not. Like whenever they form a plan, like when Bishop put out his ideas, it's like, you know what, we're gonna go on with something else, but thanks for putting your input. That's how I feel they treat him. But yeah, did y'all leave Bishop alone? He ain't done nothing to nobody. Like, I feel like Bishop is that one character where he just minds his business. Like, he's not a perfect man, but he's perfect to me. He perfect to me. Like, just leave him alone. Leave the man alone. Like, Charity got her shit. Lady May definitely has her shit. Oh my god. What's her name? Ray, she has her shit. Carissa got her shit. Jacob got his. Sophia even. Like, I wouldn't even put Sophia in. But like I said, next week's episode we're gonna find out what dirt Bishop got. So I'm gonna still love him anyway. Like, Bishop is my favorite character. So yeah, but yeah, that was Greenleaf, y'all. I know it took me a week. Literally, I uploaded the first review yesterday. I know, but look, we're just not getting settled. So I'm starting to get back to my recording and everything and editing. It's my first time editing on my computer because I record on my phone and I edit on my phone. But I was like, let me do it on my computer, and I did. So yeah, so yeah, it was fine. But yeah, that's really all I got. Excuse me, I ain't got no more, and I'll see you on the next one.